welcome to Natural Music. We'll not waste any time. This is really exciting lesson. When you get done, you will be able to play, I think, 4 songs in the key of G on this little program. I believe it's 4. Using the same intro and the same rhythm and the same chords. So I really focus on coming up with chords and rhythm and a good intro for a song is way better than somebody that just plays a lot of licks. You know, those are fun, those have their place, but this right here, this program is going to get you playing songs in a hurry, which is what we want to do, and we're going to get you playing it clean and sounding good, and it really isn't going to be that difficult, especially if you've been playing for a little bit. It'll definitely take some work, as anything new does, but you can definitely do it. So let's go ahead and get right in there. First, we need to go over the chords. We're going to start right here. G, we're in the key of G, so we're going to use G, B, and D. Thumb, middle, and pinky. Alright, so that's a G chord. I'm going to go over the most used chords first. And so there's 3 chords that get used the most. So G, B, and D right here, and that's a G chord. C is C, E, and G. And then D is D, F sharp, or G flat, whatever you're going to call that. But in the key of G, it's F sharp, and A. And I'll move my fingers out of the way some in this video. It's bad form, but so you can see what I'm pressing down. But you want to keep your fingers up for sure. So anyway, so you have these chords so far. Now there's going to be a couple different chords that take place. There's going to be a couple minors. One's going to be E minor. So it's going to be E, G, and B. There's going to be another minor, an A minor, A, C, and E. Pretty easy. And then there's going to be sometimes an A in these songs. A, C sharp, and E. But that one's less used than any of the others. And really, G, C, and D and E minor are going to be used more than any of those. So really, if you're going to practice at the beginning, and some of these are new concepts, you're going to want to really practice switching from G, C, and D. Now, let's move along to the rhythm of the song. The rhythm of the song is a fast 4/4 time song. So we're going to do what I call boom chuck rhythm, because it sounds like boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck. Now listen, yeah, you like my little bass thing there. This is real powerful and super important. Getting your rhythm right and having that move along, that is really important. So that, pay attention to this, and even if you play a similar rhythm to this, please pay attention to the dynamic and stuff that I'll explain here. We want the left hand to accomplish what a bass guitar does, and we want the right hand to accomplish what a chop guitar does. So we're trying to create those 2 instruments and create a good rhythm. You have the opportunity with, since you get to press down with 2 hands, unlike guitars, to play both of those at the same time. And there's guitar players and bass players that can do that, but it's a lot more advanced than most. But it's fairly easy to obtain on the piano. So here's what we're going to do. The bass would play this. We want that, and we call that, so we're going to play, if we're playing a G chord, we're going to play G and G. Here's an octave G, all right, down here in this left hand. Once again, I'm moving this out of the way so you can see good. And then it's going to go to D. G, and then D right there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so you can see that. And if you want to play single note, if you can't reach that octave, that's fine. Just make sure if it's single note, play it down fairly low so it has a bassy sound to it. And then so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and the timing is 4/4 timing, which is each one of those measures is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically this is playing the 1 and the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that back and forth. That sounds pretty empty by itself. And no offense to all the bass guitar players, it's a little empty without the other instruments. So the chop guitar, so we're going to play on the 2 and the 4 in the right hand, we're going to play that chord. So let's pull up a G, since we're playing a G octave and to the D down here. We're going to go boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 2 and the 4 is going to play this, and real snappy. Boom, 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 boom. So basically what it is you play 1 here, an octave G here, and a G chord. Play 1 here, a D, then a G chord. G, D, and every other one. So every other one you're hitting in between this bass note. You're going to want to just practice that. If you've not done that before, keep this real snappy. And I know some of you may be doing this for a while, and it's real easy just because you think it sounds filling, just to... Don't do that. That's all I've got to say about that. It's messy. I know it's filling, but filling doesn't always mean good. I did that early on, and I hear things that, and I don't like it now, years later. So here we go. So keep that nice. If you don't have a bass or anything holding that bottom end, or a tuba, for those of you that have a tuba you're playing with, yeah, that's very interesting. Sorry to all the tuba players out there, but here we go. Boom, 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 boom. You know, you can play that left hand a little bit heavier if you don't have a bass guitar or anything. If you do, I'd play just kind of light and snappy like the right hand. Now we're going to do the same thing with C. So we're going to pull up this C chord, C, E, and G. We're going to pull the octave C up, and this time we're going to go to G. Boom, boom, boom. And we start with this left hand, by the way, every time. Octave, here. So to move from G to C, here we go, is boom, 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 boom. And then we're going to start the octave C. You don't want that pause in there, but I'm just doing that. And then we'll go back to G. And then we're going to do the same thing with D. So we'll pull up a D octave, and this is going to go to A. And then we're going to play this D, F sharp, A, which is a D chord. And we're going to go every other one. Practice back to G. And then we're going to go over some of these minors here. The minor that's used the most in the key of G is an E minor, I would say. And so that's E, G, B, and then E to B. And if you were to start out on that, sounds like weird Greek music. So don't do that. I don't know, maybe there's some sort of weird Greek gospel song. I've not come across it quite yet. And then A minor, A to E, and then the A, C, and E. Start with that left hand, play every other one, nice and snappy. And then the A is the exact same thing down here. It's A to E, but we add, instead of playing the C, it's A, C sharp, and E. So you're going to want to practice moving around from there, starting with the left hand. So let's say, just randomly, you can pick chords and learn how to move around on there. So G. After you do that a while, try to go to C without... See how the left hand move first? And then back to G. Then maybe go to D when you're ready. D. I wouldn't mind go to E minor. Maybe A minor. To G. Maybe we'll go to that A. To D. Then back to G. Alright. So there's the idea of that. If you don't have that concept down, work on that, because that is automatically going to make you to be able to play full songs. So you need to work on that, and that's very crucial to being able to do this little program we're doing. And it's just going to make sense with all these other songs. Okay, so far we have the chords, we have the rhythm. Now we are going to go over the fun stuff. We are going to get right into this intro, and this is going to be a nice little intro. I opened up with it. So here we go. We are going to use chords, but some of these may look a little different if you're new to chords and what I just showed you, because the name of the chord doesn't always start in the thumb on these. And without going into too much detail, these three notes, or of any three notes of any chord, no matter in what order, make up that chord. So if you were to take this D and put it down here, that's still a G chord. Or if you were to play it B, D, G, play it all backwards, those three notes, no matter what, that is a G chord. So some of these chords are going to you know, maybe not if you're new to chords and you always have it on your thumb, the name of the chord and what you're doing in the left hand. Now the left hand will stay the same. I don't care if I have a B in my thumb. I'm going to stay a G down here. But so you just, you know, hang on to that. Through this program, we're going to keep the name of it on the thumb when we're playing rhythm. But for the intro, we're going to get right into that, and we're actually going to pull up this G chord. And so if we were playing a G right here, we're going to take this D and put it down here. All right? And so we're playing a G chord like it's still a G chord. Down here we play an octave G. All right? And I'm going to go over just these chords first and how to make them, and then we'll go over how to kind of make it sound like a more interesting intro. But first things first, there's a little walk at the beginning, and it goes D, D, E, G, D, like that. And then you would hit a G chord with that D in the thumb. And then after that, we're going to go to what we call an E7 chord. And I'm not going to explain why these are called this for right now, for those of you that don't know, but I'm just going to do it. I'm going to tell you. So you're going to put an E, so you're going to hit a G chord, just hit it both at the same time, not the rhythm, just both at the same time. And then we're going to play an E7 chord, so an E octave down here, and a D. I know that's weird, you're going to want to put an E on your thumb, but those of you that ain't played 7 chords before, I know ain't a word, but there we go. D, A flat, or G sharp, whatever you want to call that, and B. You can see those. So far we got it. Alright. And now we're going to play an A7 chord. And I know in the right hand, these chords don't even have an A in it. It's alright, we're going to play it in our left hand. It's going to play an A here, and then we're going to play a C sharp in the thumb, an E, and then a G. Right here, you see those fingers, it's bad form, but, and we're gonna hit that chord. So think about this. G, E7, A7, and then we're gonna go to a D7 after that. And these, we're just hitting chords. I promise, hang on, it's gonna sound like something. A D down here, and then we're gonna play C, F sharp, and A, and that's a D7. All right, so far we got G, E7, A7, D7, and then we're going to go back to G, but we're going to play our G like this. B, D, and G. Remember how we took the D and put it down here? Now we're going to take this B and put it down here. Doesn't matter what order, and we're going to still play the G down here. So B, D, and G, and then we're going to go to a regular old C, C down here in the left hand octave, and then C, E, and G, and then back to this G, B, D, and G. And then we're going to do this little walk in the left hand, this little bass walk. D, E, F sharp, and then you're going to go to G, and when you hit that G is when you can start that rhythm. So far, real slow, just hitting the chords of this intro is this. G, E7, A7, D7, G, C, G. Walk up, and then you're into the song. Now this doesn't sound real bad by itself, to be honest with you. You could play this if it's going to be a little hard to do what I show you here in a second. And it doesn't sound too bad just to go. Some glad morning when this life is o'er. So you can see how useful that is right there. But we're going to take it a little bit step farther, and you can do that if that's where you got to start at. That's perfectly fine. But what we're going to do, and when we normally hit that chord, we're just going to hit the top note and roll down the other two. We're going to go like this. So you'd go, ba, ba, da, da, and where you normally hit the chord, you'd go B, G, D, and then we'd go to the E7 and play B, A flat, D, and then we'd go to that A7 and play G, E, C sharp, and then to the D7 and play A, F sharp, C, and then we're going to go back to just hitting chords on that G, C, G, and then D, E, F sharp into the rhythm. So here's kind of what that sounds like at a slow speed. song with the chords above the words and everything, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. And this is going to apply to pretty much any 4/4 time fast song that you can play, and we're gonna put it to a few here so you can see how that will work with those chords and that intro. So you can see just by rolling that. How effective that is right there. And this is a powerful little tool coming up with, you know, these generic intros that you can just have on the spot. So I want you to imagine this. Somebody looks at you and says, oh, we want you to play I'll Fly Away in the key of G, or Are You Watching in the key of G, or Lean on the Everlasting Arms in the key of G. And you with confidence, even though you had not played it, and you just have a little chord chart there, and we'll get in how to read those in just a second, can just go, okay, are you washing the blood? Yeah, and with confidence, everybody just thinks you're, you know, so smart and good to do this. Just what a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning. And you can see how useful that can be, or it can just be on several different songs. But what I want to get across right here is, I know you're not playing a song yet, but you're going to. And all it took was one rhythm, boom chuck, a few chords, and I'm learning those, and one little intro that's made up of chords that we're just rolling. So far, all we've done is just come up with rhythm and chords, and it already sounds like it could be a professional gospel intro. And this is going to apply to several different songs, and I am so excited as you start to learn these, and we're going to go down through song by song and walk you through these just in case there's any little things. But, you know, after a couple of these, it's just going to take off, and you're going to see how this applies to several different songs. So I'm going to play it one more time up to speed, and then we'll see you next time when we start learning the songs. All right, here it is. All right, thanks so much for watching.